Welcome to another episode of the Team Elmer's Update, where we take you past the orange barrels and onto the job site. As we near the end of the summer season, let's reflect on what summertime has brought us. Long days, warm weather, and road construction. Lots and lots of road construction. Motorists experience projects both big and small, and of varying degrees of involvement, including chip seals, mill infills, and even total reconstructs. But how does the Road Commission decide which option is the best one?
Well, everything that we do is based on our asset management plan, and basically we have what we consider preservation, maintenance, routine maintenance, and then reconstruction.
We try to follow our asset management plan. We take the suggestions from the PASER ratings and then through the engineering department we make those hard decisions on what to go with.
We PASER rate our roads on an annual basis, and we insert those new ratings every year. And the model gives us a plan that we established, to have at least 80% of our roads being considered fair to good condition.
PASER rating is one determining factor when deciding which maintenance plan to execute. Rating the condition of the existing asphalt surface on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being excellent.
When we talk about routine maintenance, what we're doing is we're targeting those roads that are rated maybe a 5 or a 6. And that's where, if we just put a chip seal on, we can extend the life of that pavement. We take it all the way up to a PASER rating of about 8, and we're good probably for up to maybe 5 years, not having to do anything to it. When we look at preservation, now we're looking at more involved improvements, and those typically are in that 4 to 5 range, and we take them up to about an 8, and that'll extend the life of the pavement, maybe 5 to 10 years. And then we talk about reconstruction, total reconstruction, and that's where we're taking those very, very poor roads, those 1s and 2s, and we're totally reconstructing them, and that basically takes them up to a 9 or a 10, which gives us 10 or more years of service life.
Now let's dive in a little deeper and find out exactly what it takes to execute each of these maintenance plans.
Routine maintenance would include, anything that basically prolongs the life of the pavement. And so chip sealing is a good example of, it doesn't really add anything to the structural capabilities of the pavement, but what it does is it prolongs the life of that pavement. It just seals it up, kind of like reshingling your roof.
Chip seal process is a preventative maintenance. The one that we're doing today happens to be a double chip. It's Northern Star Drive. We are doing this in preparation for the detour that is going to be set up on Garfield. And we anticipate a greater volume of traffic on this particular road. So basically, we sweep the road and then we go through and put our hot emulsion down. And then we have the chip spreader directly behind that. We run our chip back over the top, and then we roll it directly behind, and it pushes it down into the emulsion, giving it the wearing course. What we do is we do come through with a fog seal over the top, and we hold that stone in with that. It gives it that little bit extra wear, and aesthetically it makes it look like a brand new paved surface as well.
For us, it really holds the stone in place much better because we plow, and so we're always scraping the top of our road, and so that's much better for the service life, as well as it looks better, and it also keeps the stones from flying up and hitting cars when people travel.
Does seem to give us a little more longevity out of the road. It seals things up to where water can't get in and get beside the stones, and it prevents a little bit of frost freeze next to those stones and fracturing, things like that.
A chip seal is not the only option available, though. An ultra-thin overlay can be used as a suitable substitute, helping to extend the life of the road at a minimal cost.
An ultra-thin is a thin lift overlay pavement. It kind of replaced some chip seal applications. Chip seals is an application. This is a body of asphalt that's a little bit thicker material and adds some life back into the road. It's a very sandy material, so you don't have a lot of structure as far as stone goes. You don't want to lay it much more than 3/4 inch. So you don't have a lot of material there that will stand up to deeper depths.
As with any of the asphalt maintenance processes, there is some prep work that must be done first.
If you have areas that you have some bad crown corrections or something, you have to do a pre-wedge to get those crowns corrected, so you're not laying more than your inch acquired depth. And once that process is done, you tack it, and then do an overlay.
Although a chip seal or an ultra-thin may be more cost-effective than other asphalt maintenance options, they will not work in all situations. Along with pacer ratings, the GTCRC must take the number of vehicles traveling on the road into consideration as well when making their decisions.
Depending on traffic volumes and things like that, South Airport and a couple of those sections, those are 40,000 cars a day, and that's not going to be appropriate for just a thin course of asphalt and or a chip. At that point, a true mill and fill is the best remedy for that.
The reason that we would do a mill and fill is because the structural integrity of the road is still there, and so we come in and we can mill off the old, a certain depth, maybe it's an inch or an inch and a half of pavement.
We have a machine that's got a 7-foot head on it. It's got a bunch of carbide teeth, and it just goes in and basically profiles whatever depth you want to take off. So if you set the machine for an inch, inch and a half, whatever you want, eats material off. It's got a conveyor on it, loads it in a truck, clean the surface, and it's basically just a tack course on top of that, and then repave it.
Sometimes you have to go full depth and get through the really bad spots and put some new base down at that point. But majority of the time on a mill and fill, that inch and a half is adequate because that first layer is just deteriorated and it's failing. So you hope to catch it in that stage and not have to go deeper. And it's a good practice rather than having to go all the way to a crush and shape and redo the whole complete road.
Sometimes a total reconstruct has to be done. They can be costly, time-consuming, and are only performed when absolutely necessary, such as the Lafreniere project between South Airport and Hammond Road in Grand Traverse County. Other projects may also call for the same reconstruction treatment.
Certain areas are they're done. It's over. We have to crush and shape them. It just depends. This year, Harris Road is an example of that. Garfield out here coming up in September. That one also, that's a complete reconstruct. It's met its service life.
Reconstruct is just completely ripping up what is there, addressing any sub-base, subgrade issues that you would have, and then you re-gravel, brand new cross-section of gravel, compact that, and then several lifts of asphalt, typically two minimum usually on a reconstruct, 3 typically, and so you're brand new.
Although pacer ratings and traffic volume can weigh heavily on deciding which level of maintenance to pursue, GTCRC decision makers are still bound within their funding restrictions.
For us, the cost is always an issue, and so we're always trying to stretch our dollars as far as they can go, and so we look at the options, whether we do a chip seal or a ultra-thin overlay or something like that.
They all have their time and their place. I think our local governments, engineering firms, things do a great job on placing the right applications in the right spot.
South Airport, for example, between 31 and West Silver Lake Road, has approximately 20,000 cars a day on it, and according to the book, a slag chip would have been fine. But for a very, very similar cost, Team Elmer's was able to do an ultra-thin on that, and that's what we chose to go with.
It all comes down to economics. I mean, by far, a reconstruct is much more cost inhibitive. It takes a lot of money. That's why you see so much ultra-thin and mill and fills nowadays.
In Grand Traverse County, the voters voted for a millage. This is our second year for a 3-year millage, and so that adds $3.5 million to our budget, in addition to that, about $4.5 million that we've already committed.
The Grand Traverse County Road Commission, in conjunction with contractors as well as county residents, has made great progress thus far improving our roads. However, there is still a long way to go to reach their goal.
Our asset management plan is based on the idea that when we started it, less than 20% of our roads were considered good condition, and less than about 35% were considered fair to good condition. And today, we've only been practicing it for a couple of years, but we're up to about 54% being rated fair to good condition. And so we've seen a huge improvement. We had committed $4.5 million per year to be invested into our road system. And this year we were able to double that, put about $9 million. Next year we should be at about $9 million. And so the more funds that are available, the faster we can get through our plan and hopefully get to that 80% goal. For us, it's a partnership, and it's a partnership between our residents, our employees at the Road Commission, and then our partners, our contractors, the townships, the county, and so, so we pride ourselves in having good relationships with all of our partners in order to be cost efficient for our taxpayers.
They all have their time and their place. It's just it's a matter of making the right decision, educating yourselves, and moving forward. So everyone around here seems to be well educated, and I think they use the applications in the right spots.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Team Elmer's Update. As always, we thank you for your patience, and stay safe out there. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook, and check out teamelmers.com for more project information.